All right. Good morning, folks. How you doing? Welcome to the Coffee Run with John here from Pro Craps on Casino Gaming TV. It's Wednesday. We're getting through another week here. We have actually like today, tomorrow, and then next week, and then we're out of Gambling 101, if you can believe that. We've been running this series here for almost a month now. We're going to be at day 20. We're going to flip into Gambling 201 starting in a couple of weeks. I'm pretty excited about that. But let's get into it. By the way, as we're going through, you should know this by now, but if you have questions for me, put a Q in front of it. If you want to talk to me directly, to say PC and make a comment, and I will filter my my screen here by PCs and Qs so I can see you and answer your questions directly. I know there's going to be some thoughts for sure on today's daily paycheck, but let's jump on in here and get a few things covered. One is going to be this: the inaugural trip around the table is going to be tomorrow night. I was talking to Charlie this morning. It's going to be me and DGE tomorrow night on the first ever trip around the table show. I'm going to do a practice run tonight, just so you know. I'm going to go live tonight at some point and practice a little bit because I have not done what I want to do, which is run the full 6 shooters with Crapsy and moving my camera. I'm going to move my phone. I'm going to set my phone up to watch. You can watch the release, the toss from like behind or something. So I've got to practice like, the rhythm of like moving the phone around and getting all that stuff done. So hopefully it'll be a good show. But yeah, tomorrow night, DGE and me. And remember, the idea of that show is I'm going to do 6 shooters. I'm going to shoot from every spot on the table. And as I'm shooting, it's going to be me and Charlie talking, or whoever comes in the show, right? If you want to be part of it, be part of it. But yeah, it's not going to be interview style. Like I was thinking like that show Hot Ones where it's an interview, but they're both eating the wings. We'll be both playing craps, obviously. But really it's going to be about you all asking us questions. So instead of me interviewing him, which could be boring because I interview guys all the time, ask us questions. And I don't want craps questions. I don't want to hear about my dice set. I don't want you to ask me questions about what I'm betting on and boring stuff. Ask us like life questions. Like ask Charlie what he does for a living, right? Ask me how to write code. Like literally go politics if you want to, but ask us anything. And while we're playing, we're just going to talk like we were actually at a table talking about life while we're playing craps. It's going to be, I think, super hella fun. So that's tomorrow night, probably about 6 o'clock Pacific time is my target time. I'm going to check the schedules, make sure I'm not bumping into anybody else at that time. That's what I'm thinking of, tomorrow night around 6. So that should be fun. Let's see, what else today? We got to talk about the odds maker. Man, today was a rough day, but I think we're right where we ought to be. And I'll talk to you about where we are and where we ought to be here as we go through. And then we're going to jump into our Gambling 101 stuff here. And let me just do a quick little check of PCs, make sure nobody's said nothing yet. No questions. Nobody's talking to me yet. Let's see. Victor says it's classic game theory. Decision-making is line bets because they help the process decision-making edge versus no edge. I see what you're saying there, but we'll jump into that in that segment today for sure. So, all right, here we go. Where are we with the odds maker? We're right where we should be. We're exactly where we should be, believe it or not. I bitch a lot about this one. My ideal scenario for my paycheck strategies is 70 to 75%. I think you should be, for a paycheck strategy to work, it's got to win about 75% of the time. Okay, to be reliable. And I'm okay with that, right? If we're going to go 20 days, and we're going to lose whatever, we're going to lose, 3 or 4 of those, you got to be okay with that. As long as it's winning more money than it's losing or about the same. If you're winning and losing the same dollar amount, but you're winning more often, you're going to be okay. That's where it is. We're winning more often. We've won 4 more times than we've lost, right? However, our losses are, $75 offset of the wins. If the wins and losses were closer together, we'd have more profit. But even so, you win more often than you lose. You're going to be likelier in profit as long as your win amount and your loss amounts are kind of in lockstep. Okay, so we're losing too much, not winning enough. And today was another good day, another good example of the perfection of this strategy. Right? Yesterday we won in no time. I actually won 2 paychecks yesterday. If you count me being a dumbass and not leaving early enough. I won it twice yesterday, right? Very easy, right? Set a point, hit a point, come out 7, done, right? When the rhythm is good, the rhythm is good. Today, the rhythm was terrible, and every time we've lost, it's been awful. Like, it hasn't been like a bleed, it's been a train wreck. And what happens here is this, it's a rhythm strategy. Whenever you're doing a pass line or a don't pass or a don't come or a come bet, whenever you're using that, you're betting on dice rhythm, okay? House edge, put it aside for a minute. The bets are based on rhythm, right? Shooter is setting the point, hitting the point, setting the point, hitting. They're in rhythm or they're out of rhythm, and it's set a point, 7 out, set a point, 7 out. And you're letting your bets kind of dictate where, or the dice dictate where your bets go, and you're playing with the shooter's rhythm. Sometimes the shooter's rhythm is not there. Today is another good example. We only hit one pass line win all day today. We had one come out 7. The very first throw of the day was a come out 7. Never had another come out 7. We had all those bets up top behind on our don't comes. Never hit a come out 7 to win, not one to win one. I hit 1 point all day. We had 8 shooters. I hit 1 point. So again, if you're not going to have come out 7 winners, and you're not going to hit your points, the odds maker is going to get its ass kicked, and that's what happened today. 8 shooters, we lost $400. And again, just ugly rhythm. I even tried to change up rhythm in the middle, and it worked for a second, but it didn't sustain itself. Some days, it ain't your day, right? Some days, it ain't your day, and we talk about this a lot all week long. We've been talking about your psychology and all that. Yesterday, we talked about, or Monday, we talked a little bit about discipline. Yesterday was a little bit about again, like today, making good choices and understanding like where you are, where's your satisfaction level. Today, in the Make Good Choices show, we're going to talk about this because this happens all the time. And I think sometimes we're punching inside of a paper bag. You know what I mean? And you have to recognize that. And I think when I talk to my friends, and I'm good friends with a lot of people that you don't always see on the shows. There's mathematics experts and DI guys, and everybody's got their opinions for me, right? With this show, with that show in particular. I really believe that your mental state is a difference maker. And I know there's no math to support it. I know that if I run strategies in win craps, you're going to get the results you expect to get. Here, in fact, we're at a win rate of 61%. I will show you tomorrow this strategy in win craps, or Friday rather. When I run this strategy against all the permutations, it's about a 60 to 65% winner. That's what it is. We're exactly where we should be. And if you just run mechanically against all that, that's where you're going to end up. The difference maker to me, I'm a believer in this, I know some people are not, is your mental state, getting in and getting out, right? If it's not going well for you, don't fight City Hall. Get out. Today is a good day. Going bad, stop the show. Get out. I'm not going to keep, again, punching that paper bag, right? You're not going to get out of it sometimes. Sometimes it works out, but I think your decision-making process can help you through it. We'll talk more about that here in a little bit. So with that said, let's transition into today's topic, which is going to be making good decisions. And I think we got to remind ourselves again every day, right? The core principles of being I hate to say it like this, a good gambler. And I'm going to put that in air quotes because nobody's a good gambler. But you can be a better than average gambler. And what I mean by that is the average bear is going to get beat more often than they're not, right? And I mean beat more often than not. The casino's got that mega advantage, right? They got the house edge already, and they got everything else going for them. Specifically, they got you going against yourself, right? You're fighting your brain. If you don't walk in with goals, with a strategy that's got a better than 50% win rate, ideally 75%, a bankroll that can sustain you to earn that win rate, the mindset that lets you make good decisions, to play with discipline, right? And you don't, in the bottom paragraph here, know the game, understand gaming theory, understand math. And I'm not talking about calculus, I'm talking about basic math, right? The way that probabilities and odds work in these games, understanding variance and how to bet with and against variance. All of that together can eliminate the distractions, right? Eliminates the noise and the this and the that, and gets you back to focus to where you're just really fighting house edge and yourself most of the time. And today's a good example. We're going to be fighting ourselves today because we're talking about making good choices, okay? Making good choices is hard. And all these things that I talk to you about are really hard to do, right? It's hard to have discipline. It's hard to be satisfied and walk, right? And that's one example, 2 examples, I guess, of making good choices. And I joke about this because my daughters went off to college, and the last thing we said to her was, "We love you. Make good choices." It's like it's hard because again, it goes against human nature to make good choices, right? We want to have fun. We want to be degenerates. We want to do all the things that we're not supposed to do, and making good choices doesn't come naturally, but it's going to have to become part of your DNA here when you're playing in the casino. So, what choices do you have? When I say make good choices, what are some of the choices that you have? There's probably more than this, right? But you're choosing how much to bet. You're choosing how much or what to bet on. You're choosing how much money you brought, by the way, to start with, right? You're choosing when to stop betting, and not maybe for the day. Maybe stop betting on a shooter or in a series or in a shoe, right? When to leave the table or the casino, when to leave the game. Maybe craps ain't your game today, you're gonna go play something different. Maybe you're just not having it, right? Today in the garage was a good example. I didn't have it, right? We were missing every bet, we never got paid. It's like, hey, you know what? It ain't your day, leave, right? There's a school of thought that says bring enough bankroll to last for 10 or whatever number of shooters that it is, right? Sometimes, and I guess the theory behind that is if you're gonna lose 10 times, you gave it your shot, right? I'll tell you what, you lose, like we did today, 8 shooters in a row, it ain't fun, right? It ain't fun. You're likelier to just walk away and get it a different day than to have the last little bit of money in your rack make you all the money. It happens sometimes, but making a good choice might just be, preserve the bankroll you got, don't burn it up, chasing your tail on a bad day. Sometimes it's just a bad day, right? I've been insanely lucky in the daily paycheck. I've also been unlucky sometimes. You got to recognize that, right? Work the luck, run when it's not going good. It's just like streak betting, right? I look at sessions back to back as a streak. I'm winning, I will stay and increase. I am losing, I'm getting out as low as I can, right? That's, I think, smart play, making good choices. When are you faced with choices? Those same choices happen to you here after every loss, after every win. In other words, after every decision's been made on your money. And think about that. Every throw in craps is an example. Every roll of the ball in roulette, every hand in other games is a decision in some shape or form. Sometimes in craps, the dice roll and there's no decision. Nothing happened. It doesn't land on your number or the number that takes your money away. But you have a chance to make a choice after every decision. What just happened to me? Okay, I had a bet on this number, that number hit, I got some money. I have a decision to make. Right now I have a decision to make, okay? Or I had bets out there and something happened and I lost my money. I have a decision to make, right? My decisions are gonna be, going back a screen, how much do I bet now, right? Since I lost that bet, do I go back with that bet amount plus some? Do I go back with that bet amount minus some? Do I do a same bet? Or do I not bet at all? Those are decisions you have to kind of think about with every bet that you've got. If you're playing a game like roulette or craps with multiple bets, or with the next bet in the series in a more card-based game, right? You've got to make that choice, again, after every decision. In craps, it might be after every throw. Every throw, I didn't win. I didn't win. You're still making choices. Do I still keep my bets up? Dice are off the table. Do I make a bet? Do I pull back, right? Those decisions happen to you all the time. And how do you make a good choice? Well, here's the stoplight theory, right? That we teach kids, and I think it's good for us too, right? We teach kids, it works for us, right? Your decision-making process is this, and it's hard to make a good choice. It's difficult to be a smart decision maker, but here's what you do. You stop, right? Red light, stop. Okay. The minute that decision happens, and let's go back one screen. The decision, every win, every loss, the decision might be your run at the table is over. You're out of bankroll or you're at goal, right? Those are also decisions. But at that decision point, you stop and just take a second and evaluate where you are. Go to the yellow light, right? Red light, we look at the yellow light. What do? Take a breath, sit back, right? Internalize a little bit. What just happened? What was the impact of what just happened? Did that win put me to my goal or over my goal? Okay. Did that win get me even for the day in my rack with money out there on the felt still? Did that loss put me at my limit? Did that loss take my win goal below where it needed to be? Did that non-event change anything for me the way that I see the world in terms of a trend or whatever else you want to call it, right? Take a second to evaluate. It doesn't take long, but stop what you're doing. Give yourself time to process. And we talk about this all the time. I say to you, make informed decisions. You've got the information. You know what the probabilities are. You know what the odds are. We know how to calculate them. Take the time to make that evaluation and then make your decision, okay? If you skip the stop and evaluate, sometimes you're going to be too mechanical. And I believe in mechanical play. And there's reasons why I believe in mechanical play, because mechanical play, I think, feeds the math, right? The math is the math. You can't break math. So when you play mechanically, you're just going to ride what's going to happen. However, you can change rhythm by stopping, right? You can change bet amounts by altering things. You can't change the result, but I think playing mechanically sometimes gets you in trouble if you don't stop and evaluate and say, look, what was the impact of that bet? The mechanical thing is to keep betting. However, that bet that just happened, the win or loss, just changed my rack in a certain way that now I got to make a call. Am I done, or am I going in, or am I going in harder, right? Give yourself time to make the call. I think that's the thing that we tend to forget to do, right? I think we get too like this, and you get robotic sometimes, and you forget to make a decision. What is your decision? Again, we'll go back. The decisions you're making are how much to bet, what to bet on for the most part. Are you done? Are you leaving? Or are you going in harder? Those are your basic decisions. And again, if you're a player that is trying to hop on a trend or a streak or something, that decision may not be purely bankroll based. That decision might just be, I'm seeing this, my bet won, my bet won, my bet won, my bet won, 4 in a row, okay? Your stop and evaluate right there might be, I've hit I'm on the 4th leg of a parlay here, right? That third win satisfies every other condition that I have. My mechanical play style says, well, I'm on hit 4. I need to let that thing roll and get the 4th hit to have the super profit. However, 3rd hit got me where I wanted to be. What's my decision there, right? Your decision could be, I'm not betting right now until I see this condition happen. I'm not going to put a bet out there until I see 2 fields in a row. Okay, cool. I saw 2 fields in a row. Stop, evaluate. I've seen 2 fields in a row. My bankroll is here. My decision is how much to bet and where it's going to go, on the field and the horn type of thing, right? That's what I'm talking about. So give yourself the time to do the stoplight thing and evaluate. Stop, pause, do your math, do your calculus in your head, and make a decision on what you want to do. So that's just kind of again, a quick look at what it means to me to make a good choice, right? And again, it's not easy to make. I put up here, it's good choices are smart choices, and they're difficult to make because sometimes the right choice to make is not the one you want to make. And that goes back to discipline. That goes back to being satisfied. Sometimes the right choice isn't the one you want to do. And I get it. Believe me, I find myself in there with you all the time. But if you're going to win on the regular, if you're going to win more often than you lose, the reason why, again, my paycheck series for the most part is about a 70% win rate besides the one we're on right now. The reason why is decision making. It's some luck. A lot of it is decision making. And I think you got to fight it, man. It's hard, especially when you're there. It's easier to do it here in my studio, make good decisions, and I can talk like I'm a great professor here, but at the casino, what happens? The heart rate goes up, the whole thing happens, right? Everything's fighting you. The casino knows. They know how to make you make bad decisions, right? We got to fight some of that. So there it is, right? There it is, guys. And again, just kind of a little thought experiment for you here, right? Let's have an example, right? You have $1,000 buy-in, and ignore the bottom part for right now. Look at the scenario. You bought in for $1,000. Let's say you're at a craps table, right? The table heats up, 45 rollers. Somebody's just on a freaking heater, right? You see a whole screen full of red and roulette, or a whole bunch of bankers and baccarat, right? Whatever is going on, right? The shoe is wicked thick for you in blackjack, right? All the conditions are perfect, right? And the decisions that you've got after each bet, after a certain time, when the shoe's over, let's say the shoe ends, right? The shoe has ended. and you got like 20 wins in a row on the blackjack table, right? Or the Bach table. The shooter finally sevens out after 45 rolls. Okay, stop. Count your rack. Look where you are, right? Take a pause and start going back to the questions, right? Where's my next bet, if there is one? What's the next bet level if there's gonna be one, right? Did I profit enough? Am I ready to walk, right? Start with that and then move on. That's fine if you walked into a table, you bought them for $1,000, and that happens. And that does happen. What happens more often is what happens on the bottom. What happens if you go out there, today's a good example, you lose $400 or you lose $750 of that $1,000 out of the gate. How many times you walk up and you go, you get your ass kicked right out of the gate? And you're feeling down, right? But then the heater comes. Then comes the heater. And the decisions you make during the heater dictate a lot of things, right? Is your goal changed? Does your goal change from, okay, I brought $1,000 to try and win 500. Now I'm down to 250. I need to win back that $1,000, get back to even, right? Did the 45 roller or the 20 reds just get you back to even again? Which very well could be. Did that shoe only serve to recover your previous loss? And you're like, oh God, we just went on this amazing run and we got back to even again, okay? What is the decision that you can make, right? How much to bet? Am I betting next? What am I betting on? Am I ready to leave? I'll tell you what, a good choice to make in that situation is to bye-bye. And what I mean by that is this: if you lose 750 and you win enough to be back to even again, you just won 750. Now, granted, it didn't turn up as profit, but if you walk into a casino and turn 250 into 1,000, that's a miracle. You've bucked everything that you're supposed to do. Get out, right? That's a quote unquote good decision, but it's a tough one to make, right? You gotta think about those things as you're going through, all right? So what if we go back to my table? We have about a half an hour here. Let's go to my table and let's play again like we did yesterday. I'll just do a simple little strategy, nothing earth shattering. And let's try and make some good choices. Let's see if I can get us into a scenario where I have to make a good choice. All right, let me go switch my screen. I may have to monkey with the colors a bit here, so give me a second to do it, but we're gonna switch over to here. Whoa, that is the wrong screen. What in the world? What is going on there? What the hell happened there? Hold on a second, guys. Let's do this here. This should be, oh, you know what? I'm dumb. There we go. How's that? Is that better? There we go. I need to make one quick change though to this thing. Hold on a second. That was crazy town. Let's change the exposure level. Boom, boom. That should sharpen it up a little bit, and then we'll do this. We're gonna go make the colors. Sorry, I was late getting in here this morning, so I didn't do any of this stuff. Let's make the color a little brighter. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Let's go. Let's see it. What do you want to play today? You want to do a little more tier pressure? Tier pressure is a good strategy to work on this because it gives me a lot of options and a lot of chances to do bad things. Right, here we go. We're at $500 in the rack, I think. Let's make sure we've got 500 here. That's 1, 2, whoops. Wow, Johnny, bad dealer. 3, 4, $500. Okay, $500 in the rack. Let's do a little 96 across tier pressure. And again, points to be made as I'm getting set up in here are this. Number one, we bought it for $500. We're playing at a $15 table that's underfunded. Know that going in, okay? We talked the other day about unit sizes, right? With $500, my unit size should be $5, not $15. But here I am in a $15 table, okay? So we're gonna drop $100. We're gonna get $4 back. And again, I realized that we were underfunded. So apologies in advance for that, but here we go. Let's set up 96 across to 3 units on each bet. There's 3, 3, 3, and 3, okay? There we go. Up and off, please, dealer. Puck is off, let's come on out. And let's see if we can find a way to make some good choices. Now I'm gonna make my goal today 50%. We're gonna do a high goal. We're gonna try and get, well, that actually will make our goal $200. We'll try and win $200 today if we can, okay? The move that we're gonna do is our tier pressure move, right? It's 4 hits. Every 4 hits, we double our money, right? We don't have enough money, we can't regress, right? To do a regression system, I'd have to be out here at least 320 across and take probably 2 hits, or do a 220 squeeze play and survive 2 hits. That's half my bankroll. I can't do that. So we're gonna do 1/5 of our bankroll, which is, again, still too much. Here we go. We're on the 9. Let's have a good run here. We got a midnight, which does nothing for you and me. Sip of coffee here. We got a yo, our good friend Shiro Muchi, 6.5 mid-mo. We're working that ATS hard right now, right? Another yo, 6.5. The repeater table of Johns, right? There is a 9. We hit our point. Fantastic. Okay, that pays 21 bucks. Okay, tier pressure is a full press, right? For 4 rolls. It all goes on top, right? We'll take the quarter out of that. Looks like $35. Take a buck back to the rack. Puck goes off. That's hit number 1. We got to remember where we are. 6. New point is going to be a 6. Shooter's on a heater, right? It's like roll 6 already. There's a 5. Fantastic. Just like the 9, it's going to pay $21. We're going to full press, take the buck back, and again, I'll take the quarter. 5 nickels for a quarter. Looks like 35 bucks. We're looking for either 4 hits or something to be a repeater. That's our out clause here. Okay, there's a 1, 2, 3 ace deuce. The other side of the horn's getting worked now. Okay, here we go. The mid-mo yo again. That's 3 O's, 3 O's, 3 O's for the shooter. We gotta love that, right? Here we go. Give me something good. Nope, we got a 7. We got ourselves a 7, and that sucks. Let's reset the board. Didn't get it. We got 2 hits out of our 3 that we needed. I'm going to reset 96 across. Okay. I'm going to take my next 100 bucks out of the rack for $4 and change. I got a bunch of whites out here now. We'll actually take 5 whites out. Okay. We're back set up again. We're down 2 units, right? 2 of our, what I would call a betting unit here, right? Our betting unit size is 3 nickels, right? But our session unit or a series unit is 100 bucks, right? We're going to risk 5 series units, 5 $100 units to win 2 if we can pull it off, right? It's going to be hard work though. Here's an 8. Here we go. We're on the point of 8. We got a 6. And again, the decision, right? With this one here, you're mechanically making decisions early, right? This is a mechanical strategy, so there's nothing really to think about. $21. Right, I will drop a buck. Am I gonna drop a buck? Am I gonna go to 30? I'm gonna go to 36. Let's go to 36 bucks. There's 15. That makes 30. 35. $36. We'll take a couple of bucks back. 6 goes to $36. Okay, full press. There's a 5. Okay, cool. 3, 2, 5. You know the drill. It pays 21. We're gonna make it look like 35. In exchange for that $1. That's hit number 2. There's the 8. That's hit number 3. That is the point, which is a huge bummer. $21. There's 35. 36 bucks. A couple of dollars change. Puck is off. We're coming out. We've had 3 hits. The 5, the 6, and the 8 have all been hit. New point's going to be a 6. Here's the money shot. Can we get it? We got a 4. All right, cool. We got a 4. Yay. $27 on that 4. Now, this strategy that I play, this tier pressure strategy, results in this all the time. We're going to go backwards. We're going to go back now where we were. We're going to start back to $96. Okay, so what I need to do here is get a quarter exchange for some nickels. We'll put our $3 on top of that. So we're going to bring back $75, $85, $86 out of our 96 that we started with, but we did bring some whites back too. So where are we at? Almost recovered. If I take this, that is actually a full quarter. Look where we are. We're back to even. This is that, okay, make the decision time. Okay, we stop. We have $400 in the rack. We have $96 out here. We're technically speaking, we're $4 under right now. We worked hard. We lost $100. We won $100. We're $4 light, okay? The decision can be this. Whew, take a breath. The shooter did its job. We're done. We can now half press from here forward. Hear me out. This is, and again, making good choices is difficult. Choice number one, we know that the tier pressure, 4 hits, will double up what's out here. I know that I can try for 4 hits again, double myself up, and get my rack right. That would be option one. Option two would be to stick mechanically in the strategy that I wanted to play, which was make the bets that are out here paid for, and then hope for the long roll and half press myself to go. So when I say make good choices, this is what I'm talking about. What do you want to do here, right? You have to think about the situation that you're in. Is it quote unquote easier to just get doubled again and play it up and really be playing hardcore for free, or let this be independent of this? Because this feels like I went out there at 96 across and just wanted a half press out of my rack versus half pressing from a strong position. So my decision here is going to be to repeat what we just did. Play the strategy we just played to get my rack even first and then go for it. So I'm going to delay the roll. And again, let's let this happen. If this hopefully works out, we can have a nice little talk about what I'm thinking here, okay? And this is a situation that we run into a lot when you're technically speaking down, but you're still playing. Okay, here we go. Another yo. Is that our 4th yo for this shooter? Holy moly. Here we go. There's the 7. It didn't matter anyway, right? Whether we half pressed or not, didn't matter. We lost $100 either way. Let me talk about what I was going to get to. If we would have had a better run, would have been a better conversation. But if you just start pressing from here and going, you're going to catch the roll and ride with it, with the shooter. If you go 1, 2, 3, 4 and regress again, you're going to be 8 rolls behind the rest of the table, 8 rolls behind the shooter if you do that, which is interesting because you would have taken 4 rolls to get the first 100 back, 4 rolls to get the second 100 back. Now you're starting to press and you're at roll 9. The shooter, even if they go 25 rolls, you're only going to be able to press on 15 of them. You follow me? Instead of just going right there and increasing your potential for a bigger win. These are the decisions in craps that are very difficult to make. And again, you got to stop, pause, and think. Here we go. 96 out. We got to pay for that. And we're in the same spot we were before. 300 in the rack, $100 out. We have not yet recovered our loss. And we're going to have to play here hard to cover the loss. There's an 8. Let's go. Let's make it happen. Midnight. I should be doing that TST throw, right? I should be doing the, I don't know why I'm not. I guess I don't really think about that much. There it is. TST. I don't even know how to do it. Terrible throw. Okay, 6. That's a 6. I'm like too close. All right, there's $21. We're gonna go to 36. There's 35. $36. That's hit 1. There's the 8. That's the point. Same thing as the 6. We're going to go, let's go 21. It'll be 36. With some change. Puck is off. Here we go. Hit number 2. 7. Doesn't matter. We're off with the puck. There's an 8, back to the same point. Here we go. 6, all right. That pays $42, $25, $42. Beautiful, okay? Again, this strategy is based on getting 4 hits or something to repeat. That's your regression trigger, okay? Let's get back down. There's 18. I need $2 here. There's 18, there's 18. So we pulled off $80. We'll take a nickel out of here. We'll make it $85. Not quite out of the hand, but close to it. And again, that same decision. Do you do tier pressure again to get back to even before you start going, right? Is your decision-making process, I'm gonna be even in my rack before I start going hard, or do I just go hard from where I am and say, well, let this shooter take care of me, right? And again, this is your decision. Last time we said, let's just do the 4 hits again. I'll do that one more time here, okay? The next shooter, if we have one, we'll do it a different way. And I want you to just, again, evaluate the rack all the time where we go. Here we go, 415, $21. We're gonna do the full press. Take our dollar back. Not gonna half press until I'm even in the rack is when I'm gonna start the process. There's a 9, a 6, 3, 9. Same as the 5, $21. Looks like 35. Dollar back to the rack. That's 2. There's a 4, fantastic. Pays $27 for 15. Looks like 40. There's the VIG. Okay, here we go. Can we survive? We do survive. Look at that. We got a 10, also pays $27, and now we're out, okay? 4 goes back to 15 bucks. The 5 will go back to 15 bucks. The 9 will go back to 15 bucks. I need to get some change. Oh, no, I don't. There's it right there. And that's it. We're back to 96 across. We brought back 100 bucks on that shooter. The rack right now, not perfectly even. We have 475 plus a bunch of white chips in the rack. We're effectively now playing free. But look what it took to get here. This shooter, we got 3 or 4 rolls to get our first 100 back, 3 or 4 rolls to get our second 100 back. We're basically even. And now we're gonna play craps. Now we're gonna actually go out there and try to make some money, right? Again, is that a good decision or a bad decision? For me, right? When I gave you that scenario before, you've lost a bunch of money. We lost 200 bucks, and you've now won a couple $100 back. It's kind of a miracle to have gone from here, think about it, to here. That's a lot. That's a lot of winning. We won 2 full units back after losing them, right? That's a lot of work. I could be convinced right now to run away, because look where we are. 475 in the rack, 96 out here. That's $75 in profit. When we were 200 bucks down, we're up 75 bucks, but we're also behind the shooter. This is where you get into like, okay, the woulda, coulda, shoulda, man. Boy, if I'd have just bet 96 across hard from the get-go on that shooter, we'd be at roll 9. I'd be all pressed up, making all kinds of money. But the good decision-making, to me at least, right? Get this taken care of before I start worrying about this, right? That may cost me money at some point, but there's the 7. It keeps me, I think, relatively safe too, right? And I think there's a reason why my win rate is bigger than it ought to be. And I think it's because sometimes I make decisions like this where, hey, if we'd have just gone for it, 8 rolls in, there's no way you're making 200 bucks in 8 rolls if you're just gonna half press from 0, right? So sometimes you've got to play a little bit more cat-like, I guess, right? Here we are, 96 across. Let's take 100 bucks out. I'll take 104 out. We'll take 104. I'll get back 10 bucks and change, and we're reset for our last shooter. Our last shooter. Can I make this profit and get out of here? 10 is the point. I love the points, the outside points. Can we survive though? Can we survive? Can we make our 4-hit builder play work? And again, I think it's important when you're underfunded like we are at a high minimum table to not try and regress. You've got to try and build, I think, in craps, build up to pull back. There's the 10 for the point. That'll pay $27. Looks like 40. There's your VIG. Puck is off. I think you got to build yourself up to the point where you're ready to play. You cannot try and regress, I think. I'm not willing to risk half or 2/3 of that to try and regress. Here we go. Point is 6. We got a 10 again. Look at that, baby. The 10 hits for 80 bucks. 40 pays 80. 75, 80. Again, tier pressure says either 4 hits or something bangs out twice. We banged out 2 10s. It goes back to 15 bucks. And look at that. We're out of the hand, right? There is our where we started with. I've got 15, 18 bucks in here. If I move that over to here, we're even. Okay, we're even. We have essentially $7. We're light $7 in the rack plus the $96 that's out here. Looking pretty stout, right? We can walk with 100 bucks in profit. If I think 96 plus the 18 bucks, we can walk out here with about $100 in profit or keep going for our goal. Here's the decision. Are you ready to walk or do we keep playing? And if we keep playing, what are we going to do? I think that since we're even in the rack, effectively even in the rack, we don't have to do tier pressure again. We can now start half pressing, okay? This is my decision. My decision is to risk the $96 that we had out here against what just happened, which is the 7. How many times does that happen, right? You work your ass off to get even and you burn it. Or we decided not to walk with a profit. And remember, we were down 200 bucks. We worked our tails off to get back to even and actually up almost 100 bucks. And a decision that we made puts us here, and now we're down again. And off we go. 75, 85, 90, $3. Okay, so I owe the world $1, right? We're gonna buy in, there's our 90, actually I owe the world $3. I'm not gonna break a quarter just for no, I'm not gonna do it. We owe the world $3. If we get a win here somewhere, we'll pay the $3 back to the bank. Here we go. Coming out, last shooter. Last crack, 7 come out, who cares? 8, okay, point is gonna be 8. Here we go. Here we go. Another 10, you know the drill. It's $27. It goes to 40, $2 in vig. There's a 6, 666, pays 21. There's 35. There's 36. There's $3 that I owe the world, paid back. So now we're actually right, okay? 3 craps, 3, doesn't matter to me. There's the 6, awesome. That pays 42 bucks. We take the 10 back to 15. We take the 6 back to 18 bucks. Again, we had a number repeat itself, okay? We're at 75, 85 bucks. Okay, again, the tier pressure way of playing almost gets you back most of the time. Look at that, the rack is back to being good. We're set up to play. And again, same decision as last time. If I take $10 back or $15 to take the 10 down, that's my starting bankroll. What I'm left with out here was 96 minus 15, $81 in profit is sitting here on the table. Walk with $81. Which is half of our win goal for the day, or play it out, right? We're degenerates today on my show. We're gonna play it out, but honest to God, when you work yourself back from being 2 big units down, 2 play units down, gotta think about it, right? All right, let's go. Half press it. We'll go $27. Make it look like a quarter for $1 in vig. And here we go. I'm gonna take these reds and color them up. Now the bankroll is right. There's our 500 bucks. We have $1. We have $1 in locked profit. No matter what happens today, we have $1 in profit locked up. There's a 6, 426. Again, we're going to half press it. It pays 21. We'll drop that buck to press it by 12. We're going to half press. It makes it look like 30. Drop $1, go to 30. And there she is. There's the 7. So we're going to lose, again, right, our decision-making process today. We've snatched defeat from the jaws of victory 4 times in a row. Okay, welcome to the world of craps, by the way. Now we have a $10 profit. 96 potentially out here if I decide to play again, or we can walk with 10 bucks. We could have walked with $81. We could have walked with $77. We could have walked with $106. 3 different times today, we could have walked with 100 bucks. 3 different times we could have walked with money today. After being down 200, we earned enough money to be up 100, which means we burned 200 and won $300, which is more than our initial goal was, right? However, starting from underneath the $300 win doesn't feel very good. And I think that's a piece I want to talk about. Let's come back to our screen here, and I want to talk about that because that, to me, kind of cements the point. Let's go back over here. All right. We got to think about what just happened. And I did that all on purpose. I didn't roll the sevens on purpose, but I wanted to play that way on purpose, hoping that this was going to happen. Because, again, if you start with $500, your goal was to win $200. It's a lot. It's a big goal. It's a lofty goal. We lost $200 and got to $100 in profit, which means we won $300. Think about that, right? We lost 2, got to a profit of 100, which means we won 300, which is more than our goal. Our goal was to take 500 and earn 200. We actually earned at some point during that roll $300. We overachieved. Casino speak, right? Never left once. It's a miracle to win $300 when you start with 500. We started with 300 actually, right? And doubled the $300 that we were left with. It's amazing to do that, right? It's hard work to do that. And again, making good choices. Here we are. We bought in for a bunch. We lost a little bit. We won back to get even and a little bit of profit. The good choice is to be like, wow, I just won $300. Like, I got to go. I won three session units. I got to get out of here. Like, that was a miracle to do that. Instead, we're like, oh, good, I'm playing for free again. Let's try and make it happen. And guess what? It didn't happen. 3 times in a row, it didn't happen. Burned ourselves. We now have $10 in profit instead of $100 in profit. Just because of, again, making non-appropriate choices for us. Okay, so let's compartmentalize that and use that as an example and ask yourselves, how would you have done in the same situation? Okay, let's hit some questions. What do you have here for questions? For anything you want to talk about? Cues, I'll do a cue first. Let's see, glasses got to go on here. Let's see, Dusted One had an 87 win rate on my rollout today versus my 60% win rate. Okay, double your bankroll. My theory of high quality win percent is not, I don't know what you're saying. That doesn't make any sense at all. You won 87% and you won more money. That's what you're supposed to do, right? I'm only winning 60%. All I'm saying is this. The simple math is if you win more often than you lose, 60% rate or higher, ideally 70%. You're at 87, fantastic, right? That's cool. If you win more often than you lose and your wins are more dollars than your losses are, also good. Those two combined guarantee you profit, okay? It's I don't want to say it's impossible. It's really tough to do that. It's really, really tough to pull that off. Whatever you're doing to get that win rate, that's great. And if you're saying you won 87% of my rolls today, I'm talking about session wins, not numbers of rolls that I win on, right? You should be winning 87% of the rolls, right? If what you're saying is this, and again, I'll put your comment there, you're winning on 87% of the rolls, that's what you should be winning on. If you're betting all the time, let's just pretend, you're betting on every number all the time, iron cross, okay? You should win 87% of the rolls. That's what you should win because the 80, whatever it is, because the 7's gonna come 16% of the time. The other times should be you winning. This is not good. Like, I wouldn't be crowing about that if I were you. 87%, big deal, right? You should be winning 86% already, right? You got a little tiny bit of juice. You should be winning that rate. That's what you should be winning when you're fighting the 7. That's not anything special, okay? I'm talking about the session wins because the times where you lose, the 13% of the time that you lost today, like this, how much did you lose? That's the thing. It's the ratio of like, hey, I won 87% of the time I won $5, 16% of the time I lose 300, okay? That's way offset. That's where you got to be careful with your bankroll and your bet sizing. Everybody should know that, okay? When you talk about win rates, loss rates, win percentages, loss percentages, the bet sizing matters. And the amount that you win on both sides, that matters big time. So if you win 87% of the time, $5 at a shot, awesome. As long as those 13% of the times you're not losing twice what you won, that's the math you got to be onto, okay? JR says, same betting is rarely a bad idea. And I say this a lot to you, right? Don't be ashamed of same betting. Don't be ashamed of it. It's okay to same bet, especially when you're getting started. When you're even in the hand, same bet. I like to do the heavy press early because I know that tier pressure way of betting, 2, 3, or 4 rolls, you're always covered. From starting at table minimum, I can cover those bets in 2 or 3 rolls and have a choice to make. Pull the bets down and walk with profit, let them sit and do a same bet into a half press. You have choices that way. I want to give myself the choice. So, all right, there's that. Let me search for other PC comments here. Dave P, I don't know what the next paycheck strategy is. Dice Dr. Dan's got one he wants me to take a look at. We could do anything. I was thinking about even doing like a 660, skill 660 kind of a thing, right? Just a 2-hit $500 and be out kind of a deal. I don't know. We're going to take next week, and every day next week, I'm going to run either one strategy or 2, and we're going to get kind of a feel for what we'd like. That's going to be the plan. So I'll take a week and figure it out, but I don't know what it's going to be just yet. Ryan from Mark the Point says, pressing a bet only helps on the 3rd hit. The 2nd hit is technically a double collect. You're exactly right. It's that 3rd one that gets you. You do get some juice, right? You're going to get, 9 that pays 35 and you press it up to, the next one pays 84. All those, the caps are the benefit. You're getting an extra benefit. It's almost like a half a bet on that cap, on the cap win. But yeah, the 3rd hit is where it happens. The tier pressure, it's 1, 2, 3, double hit and you're out. And that's actually pretty, again, it's a 3 hit and you're out strategy. I like that. Yeah, same better is better for most basic sessions. I like to same bet and then half press. I think that's a really good way of building up, getting that money back first and then hitting the half press. But again, you're going to be behind the long roll. All right, I think that's all we have. That's all. I see more questions out there. So let's finish it up. Final thoughts. Make good choices. That's my final thought. Make good decisions. Look at what we did today. And again, that may not be the way that you play, and I don't care if it is or not, right? Just an example. The good example there is this. I'm glad we lost early. I'm glad we had the 2 quick 7s because the 2 quick 7s put you in the hole. And the choices that you make when you're in the hole, I think, are the way that kind of define how your day's going to go, right? If you're going to go down in the hole on the 3rd slot, just keep going pedal to the metal. That's going to be, that's a way to just be aggressive. All that when we say like the aggressive versus the conservative, the aggressive player just says, screw it, I'm going to play my way every single time, right? That person may have made money today. They may have broke even. I don't know. For me, the conservative player, I'm like, okay, well, I just lost $200 out of my rack. My primary goal, my decisions are based on getting that $200 back in that rack as fast as I can. I want that $200 back. That's me. Got to get the $200 back in the rack. Then I feel like I'm free to go, right? My brain, the toxins in my brain will not release me to just go out of the gate like that. I just don't do that, right? Your brain may be different. And again, that's your decision making. I'm down 200. I'm going into slot number 3 of my 5 slots. Am I going to be aggressive with that? A decision. Or am I going to be passive or conservative with that? A different decision. You got to make your own call, right? I just want to present you with the options of it, right? And how I approach it. And again, that may cost me money. I think over the course of my life, that's actually not only made me smaller money, but it's prevented me from getting tore up. I don't get tore up all that much because I play what you just saw. I play that way all the time. Give me the rack, give me the rack, give me the rack, then I'll try. Give me the rack, give me the rack, then I'll try. Give me the rack, fuck, I'm out of here. I'll take the $100 and I'll walk. Like that's the story of John's life. I'll take that $100 win all the time. If I bust it 3 times like that, see ya. I look at that as a good day's work. I don't look at that as, okay, now I can try again, where I know some of you do. But again, your decisions to make, take the steps. Stop, pause and evaluate, make your call. And live boldly, guys. All right, I'm out. Y'all have a great day. Love y'all. God bless y'all. And I'm out of here. George from CY says 2 YOLOs and down. How about 411s today, right? How about 411s for that one shooter today? That would have been great. I'm sure Dusted One was hammering that thing right there. There you go. Okay, guys, I'm gone. Y'all have a great day. Have a happy Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow morning for for 2 more daily paychecks on the odds maker. Tomorrow's show, I forget what tomorrow we're going to do challenges. We're going to do discipline challenges tomorrow. I'm going to set you up with a few of those. Friday's going to be a win craps day. I'm going to bring win craps out Friday. I'm going to do the odds maker strategy in win craps with all the different bet levels, so y'all can see why I landed where I landed. All right, and that's it, folks. Have a great one. I'll see you tomorrow. Actually, I'll see you tomorrow. 2 shows tomorrow. Bye.